Good evening and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's begin with the top stories. On the third day of the 10th edition of Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar warned tariffs and sanctions are being weaponized by nations to further their interests. Speaking at the Raisina Dialogue, Jaishankar joined a panel discussion on commissars and capitalists, politics, business and the New World Order, discussing how political decisions impact businesses and vice versa. Citing the country's vast talent pool as key driver, India's Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, said India is poised to dominate global AI landscape. India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant highlighted India's significant role in job creation at the Raisina Dialogue on Wednesday. He said that country possesses immense potential unmatched by its peers. India's Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan spoke at the Raisina Dialogue on Wednesday. He addressed the evolving landscape of hybrid warfare and the critical challenges it presents. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pavitra Margareta, today delivered a keynote address at the 10th CII India LAC conclave in the national capital. The minister highlighted India's willingness to pursue a just and inclusive world order by forging strong partnerships, especially with the Latin American and Caribbean countries. India's Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Modi, on Wednesday approved incentive scheme for promotion of low-value Bhim UPI person-to-merchant transactions. The minister also announced that the cabinet has approved setting up an urea production complex in Assam's Namrup. On day 6 of the budget session in the Indian Parliament, Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai said Indian government is working on the issue of terrorism based on zero tolerance policy. India's Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav spoke about government's efforts towards regulating online gaming in the Lower House of Parliament on Wednesday. Minister Vaishnav said that a draft rule for self-regulatory body under the intermediary rules has already been published. Former Microsoft CEO Bill Gates met India's Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh at North Block on Wednesday. Gates also met India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and discussed about the country's development and path to Viksit Bharat or Developed India by 2047. The two-day 14th ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting plus experts working group on counter-terror is underway in New Delhi on Wednesday. India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Drone Federation of India have launched the National Innovation Challenge for Drone Research under Swayan initiative. National Investigation Agency NIA conducted raids at 10 locations in Jammu on Wednesday as part of an ongoing investigation into cases related to infiltration. A two-day coordinated coastal security drill titled Sagar Kavach commenced on Wednesday at the Paradip port in the coastal state of Odisha with 100 police personnel in participation. Curfew continued for second consecutive day in Nagpur district of Maharashtra following violent clashes that erupted on March 17th. An FIR has been lodged in the matter. Reserve Bank of India has permitted settlement of trade transactions with Maldives in local currencies following the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between RBI and Maldives Monetary Authority in November last year. Indian benchmark indices ended higher on March 19th with Nifty above 22,900. At close, the Sensex was up about 148 points at 75,449 and Nifty was up 73 points, 22,907. Indian rupee ended 12 paise higher at 86.44 per US dollar on Wednesday versus Tuesday's close of 86.88. 0.56. US stocks fell sharply on Tuesday as investors exercised caution ahead of monetary policy decision from the Fed Reserve while gauging the potential impact of Trump's tariff policies. Asian stocks were subdued on Wednesday and gold hovered near record high as economic worries and shifting geopolitical landscape kept risk appetite in check. The yen was slightly weaker after the Bank of Japan held rates at 0.5% at a two-day meeting that ended on Wednesday. Indonesian shares swung between gains and losses in choppy trading on Wednesday, a day after the stock market clocked its sharpest fall in nearly 3 years on concerns over government's fiscal strategy. In commodities, Brent crude futures eased 0.5% to $70.02 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude slipped 0.54% to $66.53. Gold prices rose to record high of over $3,000 per ounce on Wednesday as geopolitical jitters led to safe haven flows. Less than a year after its plans to acquire Israeli cybersecurity firm Wiz fell apart, Google sweetened its original offer for $23 billion in July to $32 billion, making it one of the largest tech deals ever. India on Wednesday expressed deep concern over the situation in Gaza a day after Israel launched fresh airstrikes across the Gaza Strip. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to continue military pressure on Hamas until all hostages are released. Hamas on Wednesday said that it remained open to negotiations while calling for pressure on Israel for implementing a truce. The group added that it will not renegotiate the agreement that took effect on January 19th. Stranded NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmer returned to Earth after spending 9 unplanned months in space. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the safe return of NASA astronauts, sharing a picture with NASA astronaut Sunita Williams. Prime Minister wrote, "Williams and crew 9 astronauts have once again shown what perseverance truly means." The White House highlighted US President Donald Trump's role in bringing back NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmer safely to Earth after being stuck in space for more than 9 months. US envoy Steve Witkoff said that talks with Russia on the Ukraine conflict will take place on Sunday in Jeddah. And Ukrainian President Zelensky on Wednesday said United States should monitor a partial Russian-Ukrainian ceasefire on energy infrastructure after Moscow agreed to temporarily pause attacks on Ukrainian energy sites. In a 90-minute call with US President Donald Trump on Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to halt attacks on energy infrastructure targets in Ukraine for 30 days. Russia, as Putin said, comprehensive truce could only work if foreign military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine came to an end. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke on Tuesday evening as momentum builds towards ceasefire talks with Russia. Russia and Ukraine accused each other on Wednesday of launching air attacks that sparked fires and damaged infrastructure just hours after their leaders agreed to a limited ceasefire to halt attacks on energy infrastructure. Condemning the detention of Mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem Imamoglu, over corruption probe, angry protesters gathered near police headquarters on Wednesday. A federal judge on Tuesday blocked billionaire Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency from taking any more steps to shut down the US Agency for International Development. US Chief Justice John Roberts rebuked President Trump for suggesting the way to resolve a court dispute was by impeaching the judge. A federal judge temporarily blocked US President Trump's executive order barring transgender individuals from military service. Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi and his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame held direct talks in Doha on Wednesday for the first time since Rwanda-backed M23 rebels seized two major cities in eastern DRC. Colombian President Gustavo Petro took to the Bolivar Square in Bogota to address thousands of government supporters who gathered on Tuesday to show their backing of government-proposed health and labor reforms. Thousands gathered in North Macedonia for vigil on Tuesday evening in remembrance of 59 people who died in a weekend nightclub fire. According to Las Vegas Police Department, at least 5 Tesla vehicles were damaged at a Las Vegas facility on Tuesday, with 2 fully engulfed in flames. And we're heading for a short break. There's more coming up on Express News.
This week on Defence Dynamics, India and Bangladesh conduct a strategic naval patrol in the Bay of Bengal amid shifting regional alliances. Has Bongo Saga 2025 strengthened maritime security, or are diplomatic strains still at play? We decode this exercise and its significance. US launches military strikes on Yemen's Houthis. What does this mean for Middle East stability and global trade? India fortifies its high-altitude defences. How will the new vehicle-mounted infantry mortars transform border security? Plus, is the Five Eye Intelligence Alliance on the brink of collapse? A potential shake-up that could redefine global security. Tune in this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News. Let's resume the stories. And the weather forecast for the coming days indicates a gradual rise in temperatures over the northwest India, while central India, interior Maharashtra and eastern parts will experience slight fluctuation. Heat wave conditions are expected in isolated areas of Odisha, Gujarat and Karnataka. Hot and humid conditions are very likely to prevail in isolated pockets over coastal areas of Gujarat during the next couple of days and over interior Karnataka till March 20th. According to India Met Department, the maximum and minimum temperatures over Delhi are in the range of 28 to 30 degrees Celsius and 13 to 16 Celsius, respectively. Union Minister of State for Earth Sciences, Jitendra Singh, reviewed the progress of key Met initiatives, including Mission Mausam, pushed for enhanced weather forecasting, and assessed the status of Doppler weather radar installation across India. Dust storms, strong gusts, and at least 2 bushfires descended on New Mexico on Tuesday, stalling highway traffic, knocking out power and setting buildings ablaze. The National Weather Service pushed an emergency alert to cell phone. It warned of zero visibility conditions and adverse health consequences for infants and elderly. In some parts of the state, gusts have reached as high as 70 miles per hour. Heavy rains hit Spain for the third consecutive week on Tuesday, with at least 2 people missing and evacuation of hundreds in Andalusia, the southern region. In Cartama, residents are again fighting rising waters as floods from the overflowing Guadalhorce River has collapsed drains and flooded homes. This is the second time in under 5 months that the town has experienced such destruction. In Brazil, over 200 families have been affected by the floods in Rio Branco in the northwestern state of Acre. The Municipal Civil Defense and the Military Fire Brigade has evacuated 214 families, some 674 people in the area. The local government has declared an emergency due to the rise in level of waters in Acre, Jurua and Purus rivers, which have exceeded their overflow levels. The Subramanya Swami Temple in southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu began its much anticipated chariot procession, known locally as Theritari or Therotham. The chariot procession, considered a symbol of community unity and devotion, carried the idols of Subramanya and Devasena, is pulled through the temple streets by devotees. The event is accompanied by traditional music, drum beats and devotional chants. Indore began the celebration of Rang Panchami on Wednesday with this traditional Gir procession, attracting scores of participations in the city. The Rang Panchami festivities are celebrated on the fifth day after Holi, and people put colours, gulal on one another to mark the occasion. On this day, huge crowds of people gather at the Rajwada, surrounding areas in Indore city and shower colours on each other. An early flowering variety of cherry blossoms were in bloom at Tokyo's Ueno Park, drawing crowds of delighted spectators. Spring has arrived in Mexico City with blossoming of thousands of jacaranda flowers that have added a stunning purple hue to the Mexican capital's landscape. The spectacular colors of the jacaranda flowers are not only attracting the eyes of the residents and tourists, but also birds, bees and butterflies that find food and shelter in them. Iranians on Tuesday lit bonfires in the streets and jumped over them, carrying on an ancient tradition ahead of the Persian New Year to purify themselves and ward off evil spirits. The fire festival, called Shahansheh-Suri, is celebrated every year on the night of the last Tuesday of the Iranian calendar year. Mexico City's local Congress passed a measure aiming to make bullfights much less harmful to bulls and matadors, to move applauded by animal rights activists but sharply criticized by fans of the centuries-old tradition. Mexico City is home to the world's largest bull ring, even larger than those in Spain, which birthed the tradition. In recent years, several other Latin American countries have banned bullfighting. NVIDIA founder Jensen Huang kicked off the company's artificial intelligence developer conference by telling a crowd of thousands that AI is going through an inflection point. At GTC event, the company announced the new Isaac GR-N1, the world's first open humanoid robot foundation model, and simulation frameworks to speed robot development. For the first time, Turkmenistan's capital Ashgabat hosted an international fashion show, bringing together leading Turkmen designers and renowned couturiers from around the world. The fashion show is part of the Invest in Future of Turkmenistan exhibition and forum, marking the 17th anniversary of Union of Industrialists and Entrepreneurs of Turkmenistan. Superstar actress Gal Gadot, her family and some of her closest Hollywood friends celebrated as she received her star on the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame. Gadot is the first Israeli woman to be honored with the star. She also expressed gratitude to those who have helped advance her career as one of Hollywood's top actresses. The makers of the upcoming American film Materialists, a romantic comedy featuring Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans, have released the trailer. Hollywood actor Colin Farrell, best known for his roles in films like The Gentleman, The Killing of a Sacred Deer and Phone Booth, is in negotiations to star in DC Studios' war movie Sergeant Rock. Vicky Kaushal's Shava has now cemented its place as the fourth biggest Hollywood hit. At the end of 30 days, the film has amassed Rs 541.55 crores in India. John Abraham's latest political thriller, The Diplomat, maintained a stable performance at the box office on its fifth day. Sikandar's much-awaited song, Sikandar Nache, featuring Salman Khan and Rashmika Mandana, is finally out. The energetic track highlights the lead duo's electrifying chemistry and impressive dance moves. Director and actor Prithviraj Sukumaran has revealed that Tamil superstar Rajinikanth was the first to watch the trailer of his much-awaited political thriller L2 Empuran, featuring superstar Mohanlal in the lead. Global filmmaking sensation Pal Kapadia, known for the Cannes Grand Prix winning All We Imagine Is Light, has joined hands with Bollywood power couple Richa Chadha and Ali Faisal to produce upcoming Malayalam film Gupta. Neeraj Pandey is set to bring yet another gripping thriller to the web space with Khaki, the Bengal chapter, the second installment in his hit franchise on Netflix India, with the cast comprising mostly Bengali actors. Sukumar Yadav to lead Mumbai Indians in the opening match of the Indian Premier League 2025. Full-time skipper Hardik Pandya will miss the contest due to one match ban. Indian Premier League IPL franchise Kolkata Knight Riders on Wednesday launched their new jersey made of biodegradable materials. Pacer Jasprit Bumrah to miss the initial stages of Indian Premier League 2025, Mumbai Indians head coach Mahela Jayawardene said on Wednesday. He added that hopefully he can join the team soon. Sophie Devane, Melly Kerr and Leah Tahuhu rejoined the squad as New Zealand women announced their T20 squad for the upcoming three-match series against Australia. The two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu is set to face Julie Dawal Jacobson in the round of 32 of Swiss Open 2025 on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Indian shuttlers Ayush Shetty and S. Shankar Muthuswamy advanced to the main draw of the Swiss Open with commanding performances in the qualifiers on Tuesday. Boxing Federation of India suspended its Secretary General and Treasurer following an independent investigation into financial mismanagement. India's para-shuttler Sukan Kadam climbed to world number 2 in the SL4 category in the latest BWF Para-Badminton World Rankings. India's Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia launched Khelo India Para Games logo, anthem and mascot in New Delhi on Tuesday, the second edition of the Para Games to be held from March 20th to 27th. Fit India Carnival comes to an end with a grand closing ceremony at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi on Tuesday. At the Indian Open Polo Championship, Jindal Panther defeated Karsel 8-7 to win the first league match in New Delhi. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla graced the event. Messi-led Argentina have begun training for their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier matches against Uruguay and Brazil. The Indian footballer senior men's team to host Maldives in a FIFA International friendly in Shillong on Wednesday. The International Olympic Committee kicked off its session in Greece on Wednesday that will culminate with the election of new president on Thursday. And 7 candidates will compete in the election for the presidency of International Olympic Committee at the 144th IOC sessions. And with that, we conclude this edition of Express News. Namaskar.